10 months ago, I asked if the AirPods Pro 2 could replace my hearing aids. That video went viral with over 200,000 views, and some of you had some strong opinions. Since then, I've been promoting ELEHEAR Beyond and Beyond Pro hearing aids, and now Apple just released the AirPods Pro 3 with some bold claims. I spent $249 of my own money. This is going to be a brutally honest video. I'm Alicia, and I've been living with hearing loss for over 11 years now. I've spent thousands on traditional hearing aids. After my viral video, I was contacted by ELEHEAR to ask me if I would try out their Beyond hearing aids. I tried them, and I was very impressed. So impressed that I got rid of my prescription hearing aids, and now the Beyond Pros are my favorite hearing aids. Today we're putting everything to the test. Now, I have the ELEHEAR Beyonds, $399, the ELEHEAR Beyond Pros at $599, and now the AirPods Pro 3 at $249. This video is not sponsored by Apple, and it's not sponsored by ELEHEAR. Not sponsored by anyone. I bought these with my own money. I'm an ELEHEAR affiliate, but I'll be completely honest about the comparisons. If this helps you make a decision, then smash that like button. First, let's talk about what Apple actually changed and how it stacks up with purpose-built hearing aids. AirPods Pro 3 offer 2 times better noise cancellation than the Pro 2s, 8 hours of battery with adaptive noise control, or 10 hours in hearing aid modes, which is more than the Pro 2s as well. 5 ear tip sizes, including extra small. They were listening to users and realized that one size doesn't fit all. Enhanced hearing aid features, a heart rate monitor, and live translation. Now, the ELEHEAR Beyonds at $399 have 17% speech clarity using the VoClear technology, 20-hour battery life, a medical-grade hearing aid with FDA clearance, professional audiologist support, and tinnitus relief features. ELEHEAR Beyond Pros offer 30% speech clarity improvement with VoClear 2.0, the same 20-hour battery life, enhanced music listening mode. I talk about the Beyond and Beyond Pros in a couple of other videos, so I'm not going to dwell on them too much other than for comparison purposes. But I'm really here to focus on the Apple AirPods Pro 3s. The FDA cleared the AirPods Pro 2s to be used as hearing aid devices, and the same now with Pro 3s. One note on that, however. After my viral video, I had several people call me saying, I can't get the AirPods with the hearing aid option. Ask them what country they were in Canada, UK, whatever. I don't know offhand if there are any other countries now that have or are in the process of creating the over-the-counter hearing aid category like we have in the US. Over-the-counter hearing aid option is what made it possible for lower-cost hearing aids for people with mild or moderate hearing loss. Anyway, we're really here to talk about are the AirPods Pro 3s. So let's do some hearing test comparison. I'm trying the AirPods Pro 3, and with the noise control, it cuts out a lot of the extra noise. Normally, here at a baseball game, like the Arizona Diamondbacks, you'll hear a lot of loud noise, and I get warnings on my phone saying that the sound is too loud. It's kind of strange with the AirPods Pro 3 because they do reduce that ambient noise, and they're supposed to allow voice through, but it seems to have a sharp cutoff rather than reducing all of it equally. So it's kind of a strange effect where all of a sudden some loud noises are just chopped off at the high end. So that's with the AirPods Pro 3, and I'm speaking through the mic of the AirPods Pro 3 so you can get a feeling for how it sounds. Unfortunately, I didn't have the Beyonds configured correctly for recording from the mic of the Beyonds themselves. I do that in a separate test, however. What I noticed is that I didn't have the sharp cutoff like I did with the AirPods when using the Beyonds. It sounded, frankly, more natural, especially for voices. All of these devices, the two Beyond hearing aids, the AirPod Pro, all have hearing tests, but they're very different approaches to how they handle this. The AirPods Pro 2 test takes about, well, they say it takes about 5 minutes and works well in very quiet environments. To be perfectly honest, I've had a lot of difficulty getting the test to run even in complete silence. And I've had friends that have had similar problems. You had to have the fit just perfect in your ear in order to test it. And many of us couldn't get the AirPods Pro 2s to fit just perfectly. I use them for streaming music a lot, but I never really got the correct fit with the ear tips. Now the AirPods Pro 2s have a new design that fits surprisingly better for me and for most people I've seen that have done reviews on YouTube. So once they were tested, there was, with the AirPods Pro 2, because of the fit problem, there was no guarantee that the fit would stay the same and that your experience in terms of using the AirPods Pro 2 as hearing aids would be valid. The Pro 3 test is significantly faster and more reliable, thanks to better noise cancellation. Now, it says I can take this test even with some background noise. That wasn't the case for me. I found you still need a very quiet environment to do the AirPods Pro 3 test. In fact, I tried a couple of times to do it inside the house with air conditioning running, and I just couldn't find a place where it was completely silent. I found that the best place for me to do the hearing test on the Pro 3s was in my car. Door was shut with the engine off, which is a little bit rough here in Arizona, where the car temperatures get above 100 degrees very quickly.
So I'm just constantly sweating in the car.
ELEHEAR takes a different approach. They do have a hearing aid test in the app similar to the AirPods. They do have a test you can do within the app, but what I've always recommended is you go to their website and do the test there, which then will send the results through their audiologist, who, in my case, and I believe for everyone now, they will send you their recommendations of ELEHEAR settings. It's very convenient. They did that for me, and I believe they're still doing it now for everyone. You can also upload a professional audiogram that you got from an audiologist on the ELEHEAR website. Whatever you have, hopefully something fairly recent, because our hearing changes over time. You can also do user-guided setup directly of the ELEHEARs using the manual. You don't actually have to take the test, but it can help you. The Apple AirPods Pro 3 and the ELEHEAR Beyonds give me similar baseline results, but the ELEHEAR models let me fine-tune it for specific frequencies. So for flexibility, I'd say the ELEHEAR, especially the ELEHEAR Beyond Pro, wins that category. Now for simplicity, frankly, the AirPods win that. You just put them in your ear, you do the test, but it will adjust everything for you. For phone calls, it's pretty much a tie here between the ELEHEAR Beyond Pros and the Apple AirPods 3. I regularly use both or either one for my phone calls, and they both do a great job. People on the other end have said that my voice is very clear that way. Both will do a great job. And I find it very convenient. When I answer the phone, I just click the answer button, and regardless of whether I have the AirPods or the ELEHEAR Beyonds in my ears, it picks it up and runs it through the hearing aids. I find that works extremely well, unless I have other people I want in on the call where I can put on the speakerphone. It gives you that choice, but it defaults in both cases to the AirPods Pro 3 or the ELEHEAR Beyond Pros. Streaming quality test. I tested some songs that would allow me to check kind of the variety of music, so I shortened it down to 5 songs. First, I tested Someone Like You by Adele for the vocal clarity, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen because of the complex layering of sounds, Hotel California by the Eagles, amazing guitars, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson for that booming bass and percussion, and I threw in a classical piece as well. On the AirPods Pro 3, now here's where I noticed an immediate improvement in the vocals using the AirPods Pro 3s over the Pro 2s. Now, some people have commented on cleaner bass sound, wider soundstage, whatever the audiophiles use to describe it. But for me, what really stood out, for example, in playing the Adele song, now obviously when she sings, it's really for her voice. But on the Apple AirPods Pro 2, I found that her voice seemed muddied and muted somehow. I know that that's not how everyone hears it, but it occurred to me that that's because that's where my hearing loss is. It muted her voice there. Still, on the Pro 2s, instruments came through amazingly well. Crisp high tones, deep bass, as you would expect with Apple AirPods. The vocals to me sounded muted. I realized that that was because that's the range where my hearing loss is. So I don't have the same experience listening to just a standard Adele record, I guess, than most people with full hearing do. But the Pro 3s, it's very clear that they made some significant improvements in the vocal amplification. Much clearer with the Pro 3s than with the Pro 2. So that by itself made me want the Pro 3s as my primary Apple AirPod option. An interesting point, I really haven't seen that mentioned anywhere else. That's why it's important to get your reviews by someone who actually has hearing loss. Even if professional audiologists may not be able to tell you exactly what your experience is going to be. Now, the Beyonds work great as far as picking up the vocals. The Beyonds and the Beyond Pros, that's what they're made for. They're primarily hearing aid. With the Beyond Pro, they have the music mode that extends the range I can enjoy of the music, primarily at the top end. You still don't get the really deep bass sounds with the Beyond Pros, but the Beyond Pros really give you great vocal quality. But the Beyond's still not really made for music like the Apple AirPods. Apple does a fantastic job for music, and now with the Apple AirPods Pro 3s, they do a great job with the vocals for people that have hearing loss. So while I will often listen to music through my Beyond Pros just because I don't want to change them out, I have to give this win to the Apple AirPods Pro 3s. So the streaming winner, AirPods Pro 3s for overall balance. I really love these for listening to music and for listening to audiobooks and podcasts. Impressive. That 2 times noise control claim really seems very accurate. It does a great job of shutting out other noise. And a lot of it is because of the way that the AirPods Pro 3 fit in your ear. It seems to provide more passive noise control by blocking off more of the sound in the ear canal. The ELEHEAR models have specific modes that you can set for music, restaurants, and whatever other settings you want. You can create your own settings options so you can switch quickly between them. The ELEHEAR Beyond Pro, by far the best here. They're excellent. Voclear 2.0, it really amplifies the soft sounds clearly. The ELEHEAR Beyonds are good for speech enhancement for a little less money. AirPods Pro 3, good conversation boost, better than the Pro 2s. But let's be honest here. As much as I love the AirPods, and 200,000 of you love seeing the video about the AirPods Pro 2s introduced as hearing aids, they're just not made as hearing aids. If you have very mild hearing loss, you may be perfectly content with the AirPods, even the AirPods Pro 2, but especially the AirPods Pro 3s, and it'll do a fantastic job to help your hearing. But that's just for very mild hearing loss. My hearing loss was categorized in the Apple test as moderate. But I'm very happy with the Beyond Pros. But here's another thing about AirPods. I know there are lots of people that wear AirPods everywhere they go, especially the younger generation that look like they were born with AirPods hanging in from their ears, right? Those of us who are a little bit, a lot older, didn't grow up with earbuds in our ears. And I have to admit, though the AirPods Pro 3 do fit so much better for me, they still aren't hearing aids in my book. They'll help you amplify hearing in certain environments. I'm not about to wear them as my primary hearing aids. It's just doesn't work for me. If you have enough money to spend, the ideal combination here is the ELEHEAR Beyond Pro for your hearing aids and the AirPod Pro 3s. That's what I do. Too many pros in there, I know. AirPod Pro.
Too many things, too many things, too many things, too many things.
It's an amazing combination, though. My daily schedule, usually when I wake up, now that I'm retired, I'm not going to an office. I'll be hanging around the house, working on videos, and I'll put the AirPods in my ears and do some streaming music or whatever. When I need to leave the house and go out, I'll wear the ELEHEAR Beyond Pros. My favorite combination. I love these two. $600 for the ELEHEAR Beyond Pros and $250. So you're talking $850. But think of that compared to the cost of prescription hearing aids. I've spent as much as $7,500 for hearing aids that weren't nearly as good, in my opinion, as the ELEHEAR Beyond Pros. So for a fraction of the cost of prescription hearing aids, I get two options. I get the Beyond Pros for my day-to-day usage and the Apple AirPods Pro 3 for when I'm just tinkering around. It really works for me. Now, if you have an interest in any of these, I'll have the affiliate links below. I'm not trying to push you towards one option or the other, but using the affiliate link helps me significantly. Battery life, another reality check. Battery life is crucial for all hearing aid users because typically we have to wear them all day long. But here are some real world results. This is another area where you really need a hearing aid that's made to be worn all day long. The ELEHEAR models offer 18 to 20 hours. There are times I put them in first thing in the morning and take them out at night when I go to bed to charge them. So they do really last that long for me. The AirPods Pro 3s say they have a 9.5 hours in hearing aid mode, close to Apple's 10-hour claim. Pro 2s, about 4.5 hours. That's really a major limitation. Now, when I had that video on the AirPods Pro 2, I had people that decided to buy 2 pair of them so they could be wearing one while they charge the other. That's great if that works for you. Comfort is another area where I found that the AirPods, initially the Pro 2s and now the Pro 3s, are not made for all-day use. Now, I know some kids especially will wear them all day long. I didn't find them comfortable for wearing all day long. I would wear them for about 3 hours and my ears are starting to feel sore. The Beyonds, they're the traditional hearing aid style, over the ear, where the main part of the hearing aid is over the ear, and you have the little tube that fits into your ear canal. You don't get the rubbing and the discomfort that I experienced with the AirPods. I truly can wear these all day long. I can put them in first thing in the morning, take them out last thing in the night, and my ear is not sore. Can the AirPods replace purpose-built hearing aids, such as the ELEHEAR Beyonds and over-the-counter hearing aids? No, not in my opinion. For mild hearing loss, they may be great. They may be everything that you need. And you can certainly start with the AirPods. Try them out. I've had people that did that. They love the AirPods for listening to music and whatever, streaming music. But they ended up buying hearing aids as well because these are just not as comfortable in the ear as these. In my opinion, you may be different. Perhaps you're so accustomed to having this thing stuck in your ear that it doesn't matter. That's fine. Try them out. If you like them, fantastic. Based on what I've seen, for AirPods, I would go with the Pro 3s. They really had some nice extra features too. The heart rate monitor. If you're into international travel, you may love the translation feature of the Pro 3s. But you know what? The ELEHEAR Beyonds have had that feature for a long time now, and it works very similar. If you appreciate my review, please click the like and subscribe, and that will help this channel tremendously. Thank you very much.